My thoughts on the incident and the sense of entitlement that I think was that this young woman was threatened. Listen, I am just an average woman. I am probably not a particular threat to many women. Most women are just average. I'm just an average woman. But I don't think it was that more than when someone's place or someone's sense of entitlement is threatened, they just are uncomfortable with that. And sometimes they're so uncomfortable, they can't help but make it obvious they're uncomfortable. And, sometimes, I've seen women and had stuff happen to me. And, earlier, like last summer or so, when Matt and I first moved out to this neighborhood and went down to a neighborhood bar and to a restaurant, and I had two incidents happen to me where, you know, white women were kind of cutting their eyes at me and looking. And I thought at first, I thought I'm crazy. The first time it happened, I thought I must be crazy, because this can't be happening. This can't be. This woman keeps looking at me and looking at me with him, and and somehow feeling threatened, or or she's got a man and she's grabbing all on him all of a sudden. I thought I was crazy the first time. I thought I was just freaking out, or I was like, I'm boosting myself or something, because sometimes I'm just like, that just can't be true. Then what happened the second time and the third time, I knew I went crazy. I knew I was seeing what I was actually seeing, was that this these women saw me, and this wasn't when I was by myself. It was only when I was with my husband that they saw me with this white man, and they were somehow threatened that my husband was attracted to me, and somehow I wasn't a white woman, or somehow he should have been attracted to a white woman. If I'd been a white woman, it wouldn't have been a problem. But because I was black, it was somehow threatening their sense of entitlement, this sense of this superior attractiveness, that they feel that they are entitled to this. And like I say, if Asian and Latina women, yeah, they may be kids, but something about black women and some 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 white women just kind of, they just can't deal with it. They can't deal with the fact that this man found me not only attractive enough to date, but attractive enough to marry. You know, and so it's just too much. It's just the sense of entitlement is just, it's so threatening. It's just too much. Now, I'm not personally threatened by any other woman. I don't care if she be black, white, brown, purple, yellow. I'm not threatened, and I'm not competing with anybody but me. And I'm not threatened by anybody else. Only I can give what I have, and I have enough self confidence in me and who I am to not be threatened by other women and competing with other women. My hope is that all women find someone that finds them attractive and can love them, and stuff. I'm not worried about, what other women are doing or what they look like. I have what I have. Only I can give what I can give. Only I am who I am. And so my husband found that attractive enough that we started a relationship and we got married. No other man in the world has to find that attractive about me. Only him. No other man really in the world has to find me attractive. Only him. So I don't have this sense of entitlement that all men should love me, or, men should somehow think that I'm the best thing ever. But I'm not saying that it's all white women. I'm not even saying that it's the majority. I'm just saying that there are some, and that is a actual fact. And I don't really want white women to get all upset and say, well, I've been dating a black guy and I've had black women look at me crazy. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. That's not equal. Uh, Black women are not threatened because they feel like everybody should think they're attractive no matter how they look. Okay, the threat for black women is they think that no one else will love or understand them but black men, and they feel like some woman is taking something that that really that's it, that's all they got, and stuff. It's not that. It's not this. It's not a sense of superior superiority complex that they're dealing with. It's a in many cases for black women an inferiority complex that they're dealing with, that they think that no one else will deal with them. But for white women, it's not that. It's that they think that everybody should love them, no matter how they look or who they are, just from the sense of being a white female, because that has always been kind of established. Now, people may not agree with me. They may be mad I said this. They may think, and all this. They may think, oh, I'm so insulted. You know what? If this isn't you and I'm not talking to you, there's no need for you to be offended. Okay? Could it be that I'm being overly sensitive, that I'm boosting myself, that I'm thinking too much? And could be. But it also could be that maybe you're feeling threatened because your sense of entitlement is not being it's not being worshipped, and it's not being it's not particularly being boosted. It's not, your sense of entitlement is being threatened. And so, it could be you. Okay. This is my experience. This is my reality. This is what happened to me. What happened is not something I think happened. It actually happened. And like I say, I could count maybe how many times this happened to me on one hand up here, but it happened. And my husband, who loves this town, who loves this place, who's thinking about maybe moving himself and his wife up there, was very upset yesterday. Like I say, I'm less upset about the chick cutting her eyes at me or giving us bad service or whatever. Whatever, chick, whatever. I'm more upset because he was upset. And I think it was just a shocker for him, because I think he's just kind of never had that happen. And like I say, I've had it happen with black men before who are vocal. White women are less vocal. But, listen, I know the look. I know the confused, kind of insulted look. I know that look. And I know the kind of cutting eyes, and I know the smile until, when somebody says, oh, can I help you, or can I do something for you, or whatever. And then I say something about, oh, well, I'm waiting for my husband, and people are smiling. And then when he shows up, the smile goes away. I know that, I'm not crazy. Okay. And stuff, so I mean, I know what happened, and there's really nothing I can do about other people. I'm not really interested in trying to deal with other people's issues. I'm not going to make you feel better about your issues or whatever. They're your issues. Okay, I'm not going to pretend they're not there, but I'm also not going to claim them either. They're yours, not mine. And if some white women are falling in the streets because they can't believe a white man would dare touch, marry, have sex with a black woman, so what? That's not my problem. I'm not going to divorce my husband. We're not going to do nothing but be married and love each other, and that's it. If you've got racist tendencies and racist issues, I don't really care if you do, and I don't really need to know if you do. Okay? That's not, like I say, that's not my issue. That's your issue. Personally, I could be ignorant forever of people who have racist thoughts or feelings towards me. Really, let them be uncomfortable. Why would I need to know? That would make me uncomfortable. Let them be uncomfortable. Okay? I'm saying this, and I'm saying it out loud. And I'm saying something that, a bunch of women I know who are in a relationship have said, and stuff. So, and like I say, this is not something, I don't throw this stuff, I don't throw these kind of incidents. This is probably the first time this has happened to me. Besides the two kind of weird things that happened, it was probably the first time this happened to me in some years. This has happened. and stuff. But it was just the kind of incident, that made my husband uncomfortable and made him feel bad about a place that he really loved and had fond memories of, and stuff. Now we're over it today. Now I was over it yesterday, but we're over it today. We're over it later on. We enjoyed the rest of the time. We rode down the Chuckanut Drive, and it was beautiful and everything, and stuff. But I wanted to talk about this and maybe start a conversation about this incident, the incident, as I'm kind of calling it, and stuff, and seeing what other black women who are in interracial relationships have gone through their own incident in their marriages or dating life. It's just, it's a weird thing. Entitlement is a weird thing. It's also a sick thing. But there's lots of people out there that are really entitled and have entitlement issues and stuff, And I'm sorry. I'm gonna say what a friend of mine said on Twitter. Bigots, I see you. I don't. You can't hide. I know you're there and stuff. And you know. And usually I just ignore you and stuff. But it's not like you're hiding from anybody. And don't matter what you don't like or do like, whether you like it or not. I see more and more black women dating interracially. So y'all gonna be, you're gonna be falling in the streets dying before it's over. And too bad, so sad. Life will go on. But I just wanted to share all of this with you, and you know, I hope you, I hope somebody gets them out of this. Maybe somebody will think about something, think about their own sense of entitlement, their own kind of um, unrecognized and, sense of entitlement that they may have about some things, So if you're thinking about something about me, maybe you need to be thinking about something about yourself first. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.